On February 22nd, 2022, Tool announced the long-awaited release of the new version of Opiate. This will be a compilation of most of what I know about the project. Over the years, I've done a number of videos on the subject of the new Opiate song, the video, the so-called curveball, and so I'll try to summarize the history and significance of this new Tool release. On Instagram and Facebook, Tool previewed the beginning of the new version of Opiate, which is a new intro by Justin, together with material from the short film. The press release reads, "Taking it back to the beginning, Tool celebrates the 30th anniversary of their first commercially available release, Opiate, with a reimagined and extended version of the EP's title track and an accompanying short film. Opiate², pronounced Opiate², is available via streaming services on March 1st, with the Blu-ray-only visual companion available on March 18th. Visual artist Dominic Hailstone, Alien Covenant, The Eel, worked with Adam on the 10-plus minute film, which is the band's first new video in 15 years. Dominic and Adam also collaborated on the film pieces featured on the current Inoculum tour. This new short film is entirely made by Dominic Hailstone, who I think started pre-production work on it sometime in 2013, perhaps late that year. Hailstone has been part of Tool's art team for several years. He was part of the team that worked on Inoculum's art, and he has been creating a large amount of visuals Tool have been using in their recent tours. He's also worked on the still unreleased music video or short film material for Inoculum. In August of 2019, Justin mentioned they had previous footage that they were trying to use for something, and many think he meant Inoculum music videos or short films, though that's not really confirmed.
We're working on one actually, so
okay.
It's all in the works. We've had some footage that we haven't used for a while that we're trying to incorporate. It's a bigger collaboration that's been before, and it's going to be a bit more of a mix of media.
Tool does nearly everything with intention, an intention that's almost always hidden in its meaning and symbolism. When Opiate² was announced on February 22nd, 2022, it was 7 years from when the song was likely mixed by Joe Barresi in February of 2015, or around that time. And 7 days later, from February 22nd, 2022, the song goes live on streaming services on March 1st. Opiate² was announced on February 22nd, 2022, and it just so happens that exactly a decade earlier, on February 22nd, 2012, I made this channel. The number 7 is the central number of Inoculum, the 7th Tool release, preceding Opiate². I think one of the reasons for doing the Opiate project first before Inoculum was in relation to a kind of career reflection on how far they've come from their first major release, Opiate, and part of this reflection theme is found within Inoculum. In other words, there was a progression from the reimagined Opiate to Inoculum, and 7 is related to both. The first time the new version of Opiate was played live was on March 7th, 2014. There are 7 characters in the title Opiate². My initial thought on any potential meaning of the title Opiate² is that this might relate to traditional geometry, for example Platonism and other classical systems, where the square of a number can be the representation of the perfection of a number. And 7 is a divine number of perfection.
There is no such thing as coasting in life. There's always going to be a curveball. There's always going to be change and chaos. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think that chaos and change is good. It took people 7 years to get Tool. It took people 7 years to get Perfect Circle. It'll take people 7 years to get Pussifer. And it takes 7 years to see $1 out of a bottle of wine that we're making here. It's just a natural process and a perfect number to assign to that learning curve.
The cover of the new release is a figure that features in the short film who has 7 fingers on both hands. A limited Opiate reissue was announced in February of 2013 and released in March 2013, the same months for the announcement and release of Opiate² this year. For the 2013 release, Adam worked with Adi Granov, whose cover for the reissue has become the cover for the streaming version of Opiate. The cover has 7 of these smaller priest beings. There's 7 tracks in total, including the hidden song at the end. There might have been an earlier plan to release some video together with an Opiate reissue, but that never came to be. This was confirmed by Danny in late 2014.
Are Tool going to release something other than a new album? For example, an Undertow reissue, 10,000 Days vinyl.
No, but we are going to release the Opiate video that we've been working on for the reissue of that.
That's cool.
And it's amazing. The stuff I've seen so far is out of
Sounds like a
control. The
curveball
guys
to me.
that,
Sounds like a curveball to me.
it's a curveball and it's a screwball.
There might be a few fans that will recall Blair Mackenzie Blake writing about a so-called curveball in news posts and newsletters on their website from around 2012 and 2013. The Opiate project became referred to as the Curveball, after the original Curveball project was never released and work on Opiate began. At least I think it might have been so. I'm not exactly sure on all the details, but there was a video in production for The Pot from 10,000 Days, as late as 2009 and beyond, and according to Adam it was going to be stop motion and in 3D. In November 2015, I made a video summarizing a portion on what I could gather about the project back then. I'll be using a bit from that. In May 2012, Blair posted an image in connection to something that was, according to him, going to be released that fall. The image had GPS metadata which linked the picture to the practical effects company Legacy Effects. Their website had a filmography PDF which included an entry for The Pot and the year 2011. In December 2012, Adam posted an Instagram picture of something likely part of that video, since one of the tags is a scrambled version of The Pot and the other tag contains Legacy as it's spoken. Parts of this video project have probably been used for some live performances of the song in recent years. It's likely that none of this material is used in Hailstone's Opiate² short film, but it's part of the history connected to it. In July 2013, Adam posted an Instagram picture of what I think might be them recording the new Opiate version with engineer and record producer Toshi Kasai. In a November 2013 Instagram video, Adam showed a figure being printed that was connected to the project, and he wrote, "A Hailstone Storm, new pre-production." This was before Dominic Hailstone's involvement was known, which Adam cryptically revealed. In February 2015, Adam was in a studio, highly likely working on Opiate, though I don't know if he did additional recordings or if he was recording with Joe Barresi, who mixed the song. I should mention that there is no proof that this likely early 2015 mix of the Opiate re-recording is the final version that's being released. It might be, it might not be. I tend to think it's more likely that it is, but they could have done another recording of it or additional recordings at some point later. Though if the song was finished by February or March 2015, it will have taken 7 years for the song's release. In April of 2015, Adam posted a picture of what was highly likely Joe Barresi mixing Opiate, and he wrote, "A little taste, mixing a would-be jam with evil Joe Barresi." In November 2017, Adam posted on Instagram, "We recorded a new version of Opiate not too long ago. We wrote a different breakdown that's about 5 minutes longer in the middle of the song. I believe there are recent live versions of it online." Dominic Hailstone did an unreleased ultimate video for it. Adam, 2018.
At the 20th anniversary, or the 20th was coming up of the anniversary of Opiate, we were like, oh, we got to do something. It was our first record we put out, and so we decided to re-record the song Opiate, because Justin wasn't really a part of that. Oh, I didn't say it was 20th anniversary, and then 5 years later we did it, because that's how it works in our band. We were writing, we did this song, we recorded with Joe Barresi. Oh, actually, that's not true. We recorded with our friend Toshi, and then Joe mixed it and did a hell of a job. So I called my friend Dominic Hailstone, and he lives in London. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's a really amazing artist. We offered him the job, and he took it, and he was really gracious about, you know, trying to check in with us. But it was really interesting to work as a producer instead of a director. So at some point I flew over there, and he was digitally growing things. So the video has practical effects, it's got compositing, and then it has CGI. We're all very emotional when we saw it, and showed it to Justin. He goes, "Wow, that's like watching 2001, but you don't have a lot of time." The other cool thing was we were mixing the song, and Joe Barresi, during that middle part, that Danny Carey, he goes, I can't believe this is one drummer.
March 10th, 2022 will be the exact 30-year anniversary of the original Opiate release. Some of the upcoming Opiate² video material might have appeared live during performances of the song in recent tours. Tool have been playing Opiate during the 2022 tour, though interestingly without the extended middle part of the new version that they usually play. To wrap it up, I do hope that a release like this and the upcoming Fear Inoculum vinyl release means Tool will continue to put out material like the long-desired live DVD, or more likely the live Blu-ray, live stuff in general, another Salival type release, new videos or short films, and of course, the next album, the 8th or 9th Tool release, depending on if they count Opiate² as part of their main releases or as a standalone thing. If it's a standalone, the next full Tool album might in some form be centered on the number 8.